Welcome back to the second part of Sensual Synergy. I'm your host Nickesha, and we are here with Jessica Crystal Joy. And tonight's show is about the art of solo tantra. We've learned so much in the first half of the show, but this is the meat and potatoes of Sensual Synergy. This is when my audience begins to interact and gets to asking those hard questions, and we get that dialogue going back and forth. So let's go ahead and get into the share. I have a question back here in the back. Yes, what's your question?
So I think I missed it, but I was just wondering what practice, like what, I know you have like Indian, you have, I just, what are you studying?
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. So I'm going to take this time to maybe expand just a teeny tiny bit more, just to give the information to you guys. Because I like getting people educated, leaving with something they don't know. So as I had mentioned, there are typically two main subsections of Tantra. There is the India version of Tantra, which is what I have studied under, which is the most popular. There's also Tantra in Tibet, and that is coming on the rise. I haven't actually studied, but I've been keeping informed on it. And out of India, we do it different. And here in America, since it's been solidified since about the 70s or 80s, since people have been practicing. Okay. So here we have three main things. We have the white, we have the pink, and we have red Tantra. There's also this other one called black, but that is something that most Tantra people don't practice. And that's more for people that have done something called Kundalini Yoga. I'm throwing that out there so you can be aware.
Okay.
Okay, my question is, you said that basically Tantra is opening your heart, your emotions, and your sexuality, right? Now, what if, you said before that you weren't connected sexually all the way with your mate. Now, what if it flipped the other side, where sexually you're connected, but like mentally you're just not? There's a disconnect there.
Tantra is really great, and again, I'm going to emphasize the solo practice on that, because I look at relationship not as maybe more mainstream society looks at it to fulfill a need, a desire to be loved. I look at relationships as something where you are agreeing to invite this person in to help each other do the personal work. Because in any relationship, you're going to have owies. Because here is someone, if you are into someone that is the opposite sex of you, who is basically representing the male figure. It's going to represent your dad. It's going to represent that guy that did this to you, your brother or your friend who pushed you down. All of these little things are going to represent, if you're interested in someone of the same sex as you, they're also going to be pulling up energies of that female, your mom, your sister, things your best friend did that hurt you. That's a good too. And so in that, if you aren't mentally connecting with each other and you're interested, I'd really say work on yourself, because if you get to a certain point of mastery, you might find that it's just not a good compatibility, and that's not something you can necessarily fix. But if you work on yourself and they are with you and they are really connected, they will say, what is she drinking? And how can I get some of this? And so that is another reason, because some people in that instance where there's a disconnect, they say, I can't do any work unless this person, what's this person going to do? I try to do, but they never do. These are all ways that we're holding ourselves back. Because if we are getting mastery of our emotions, our body, and using our voice, then we are going to be better in that relationship, right? We're going to have more mastery. But they're going to say it's going to bother us less. We're going to know how to navigate better. And why would we hold that back just because they not going to do blah, blah, blah?
So you're saying basically you're fixing, well, not fixing, but you're working on your own self, and it can create a better relationship if you do that.
It can, it will definitely create change either way, definitely.
Because certain things will not bother you as it was before.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
you
Yeah.
worked on yourself.
And something that she said also, that she pointed out, she talked about earlier, is that reflection piece, relationships, and we've talked about this before on the show, is that, you know, that man representing the men from your past relationships, your father, the men in your family, your brother, etc., etc. So a lot of times we find in those relationships, those things that kind of just cause us pause and makes us cringe, or just a repeat, you know, can be a repeat of past experiences. And it's that whole idea of perspective, you know, and changing your perspective about it. Okay,
We don't connect mentally, but these other things make it to where I'm going to continue to connect with this person.
Because I see
And you
a
make
lot
that
of things
decision.
are related, like this pattern, like with each relationship, something that bothers you with that person, it's probably going to bother you when you were younger.
So you saying you've seen it repeat? Oh, when
No,
you're
what I'm
younger.
saying is like a lot of things is related. It's relative, you know, everything is related when it comes to relationship between your childhood and as you grow up. Like,
So you're saying you've seen that?
I've seen it within myself.
wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
And then I'm gonna come back to you. Yes, sir.
So my question is, you as the teacher and somebody like me who kind of knows about it or wants to know about it, what are some of the ways that, or what do you do to introduce us to the unknown, so to speak, since, you know, we may come up into the situation with our one, you know, thought or what we've looked up. How do you introduce us into what it is? You know, like maybe what activity or how do you introduce us to your world of Tantra?
Sure. So how I like to lead is giving people a guideline, giving them a roadmap. So every class before I start, I tell people this is what we're going to do at the beginning. Somewhere in the middle, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to end in this, and eventually finish with a group little exercise. Because I find, and other people that have done personal work or study or just general research find that when our minds are silent or our mind has something to focus on, we can dive deeper and be more comfortable and relaxed. So I like to present
Something that was very phenomenal for me today is that I had an actual couple that was a guest on my show, and as I was waiting in front of here earlier today, she drove up and she got out of the car, and I'm like, oh, she's coming to the show. And she was like, I can't come to the show, but I'm here to give you a donation because I support what you do. So that's very important for me. It's like to have this beautiful lady right here who's supporting the show. Is, you know, as you sit here, I hope that this platform is of value for you. For coming support us for our relaunch. What I'm going to do is have on a lot of my wonderful past guests, and definitely want people who have been supporting me over the years, over the year, and even when I was doing my show back in 2009, to come and celebrate with us. It'll just be a great time, and it's going to be a very emotional time for me, because like I said, you know, I didn't realize that it was going to go full speed the way it has now, and be such a help to people.